three cardinal virtues. 1 Corinthians 13:13. Christianity is built on three pillars. Now abideth faith, hope, and love. These three, and the greatest of these is love. Can you get me one chair, 4-leg chair? Yeah. Yeah, there is a simple version of this that I want to share. But you can see, this chair is designed to stand on 3 legs. So if you knock off one and leave 3 and you sit, it will fall on that side. Now what happens if you knock off 2 and sit on 2? If the 2 you remove are in the front, when you sit, you fall frontward. If the 2 you remove are from the back, you will fall backward. If it's from the side, you will fall sideward. Christianity is built on 3 pillars. It seems to me that it's just about one of them that people have fully understood, which is faith. Even that faith, the understanding of what it is and how it works, is still eluding many Christians. These 3, and the greatest is love. Notice the order they were listed: faith, hope, and love. It is in that order. It is listed in ascending order. The greatest of these is love. The second greatest is hope. Because hope is the one that takes care of you, not only in time, but in eternity. What's the difference between this? What is faith? Hebrews chapter 6 from verse 1. Yes, I'll read to verse 6. Yes.
Now faith is the assurance, the confirmation, the title deed of the things we hope for, being the proof of things we do not see, and the convictions of their reality.
Now he's trying to explain faith to us, and he brings hope in. He's telling you faith does not work without hope. It's like husband and wife. One cannot produce a child without the other. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Go ahead. Yes.
Faith perceiving as real facts what is not revealed to the senses. For by faith, trust, and holy favor born of faith, the men of old had divine testimony born to them and obtained a good report. By faith we understand that the worlds during the successive ages were framed, fashioned, put in order, and equipped for their intended purpose. By the word of God,
the way God created the universe, created the cosmos, and then designed them to accomplish specific purpose, and he did it with his word. It is the same way you can put your life in order. You can create realities in your life with what you say with your mouth. Faith does not just create, it also provides direction for what he created, purpose and meaning for it. Verse 6.
But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. But without faith.
Okay. Romans chapter 5. From verse 1. We'll read maybe to verse 8. Now watch. The man started discussion on faith. Here now we saw he started discussing faith. He brought hope in. Now in Romans chapter 5, he will start discussing faith, how we are saved through faith. He will bring hope. He He will bring love in. Because these are three components of your spiritual engine. They don't function without each other. If you take one and ignore the others, it collapses. There are some of you who are trying to exercise faith without love. It doesn't work. And there are some of you that are trying to exercise faith without hope. It doesn't work. Yes, read.
Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ.
So our salvation came through faith. Yes, go on.
By whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand, and rejoice in hope of the glory of God.
So from salvation now, we move to rejoicing in the hope of the glory of God. What does he mean by hope of the glory of God? Hope of the rapture. Hope deals with redemption beyond just time to eternity. Hope of the rapture of the church. Hope of the resurrection. Hope of the second coming of Christ. Salvation was given to us in three packages. We are saved the moment we believe in Jesus Christ and receive him as our Savior. When we exercise faith in what Christ had done for us on the cross, you are saved. So, just like physical birth, that's how new birth is. You can say, I was born on so date, 1967. You can also say, on so date, whatever year, I gave my life to Christ. So it's a settled fact. You are saved. You're not going to be saved 2 times. I know that there are people who answer altar call many times. But the time comes when they have that conviction that they've received salvation. But then you notice that salvation does not yet extend to our physical body. Our physical body will be saved, and that is when Jesus returns. That's hope. The one that happened instant, faith. The one that is promised that will happen during the rapture, when we're going to take on immortality. No more death, no more sickness, no more pain. That's hope. So there is a part of salvation that is put in storage. When you finish this race, complete it faithfully, you enter into immortality. The glorification is still a hope, a blessed hope that is given to all saints. Salvation you can receive immediately by faith. In between the two, between the time you got saved and the time you will be raptured, or you will enter into immortality, there is another salvation that is an ongoing work that is happening in your life. This particular one is a process. It doesn't happen instantly. Just like when you give birth to a child, that day they give birth to you. There is another development that started from that day to today. That one is called growth and maturity. Am I correct? And growth and maturity does not happen instantly. But birth happens on a particular day. And you can trace your birthday. But growth and maturity that has been going on, you can't trace a day and say, this is the day I became fully developed as a Christian. So that one is being conformed into the image of Christ, becoming more and more like Jesus. Sanctification is part of it. And it is that development stage that is still ongoing and will remain till Christ comes to lead us into perfection. So even though you are saved, you are not yet perfect. And you can see that the church was put here by God not only to bring people to Christ, but to undertake the work of their development. One of the reasons we need pastors, one of the reasons we need discipleship, one of the reasons we need all these processes. Show the Romans chapter 8, verse 29. God's purpose, look at it. Whom he foreknew, he predestinated to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. This making every believer to actually conform to the image of Jesus is the process that is going on now. So if you are in the process, you are getting more and more like Christ. You are growing. You are making progress. You'll be able to say, I might not be there yet, but I'm not where I used to be. You will see your life moving in that direction. And I'm going to say something here. That is where love comes in. Walking in love. Because that nature of Christ is the nature of love. It's called the divine nature. As you get perfected in the love walk, you are more and more like Jesus. As you get perfected in the love walk, you are being more and more matured in the things of God. Faith is not enough. If you look at what I've just described, you see it's the entrance stage. Do you know what God looks like? We are trying to be like God. Do you know what He looks like? God is love. He that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God. The one that is not walking in love does not know God. Let's come back to these three cardinal virtues. Let me give you the simpler explanation of how the three of them work together. First of all, let's tackle hope. What is hope? Let's see if we can give you 5 to 7 different meanings of that. Number 1 is your desires. Number 2, your expectations. Don't try to exercise faith till you have a clear goal or desire. Number 3, your goals. Number 4, your dreams. Number 5, your vision. Number 6, your future. Number 7, your purpose. What is that thing about your life that has not come to pass yet? What is that thing that God has shown you that is still in the future? What is that thing that you carry inside you but you have not seen it materialize yet? It hasn't come to pass yet. That's your hope. There is now a dimension of hope that goes beyond all of these ones I described. I told you I'll give you the elementary version of it, which is the issues that had to do with the second coming of Christ and the rapture of the church. When we are going to enter into that immortal state, when we are going to be like Him. And I need to read that part for you. 1 John chapter 3 verse 1. Okay, read for me verse 1, 2, 3. Yeah?
Behold, what manner of love the Father had bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God.
This part has happened. It happened with salvation. Faith brought it to pass. We are already God's children. We're not going to be God's children. It's not rapture that will make us God's children. It's salvation and justification that made us God's children. And that one happened when you receive Christ. But look at the next part. Yes?
Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew Him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God.
You see that our salvation is now. Faith is now. Hebrews chapter 11 said, now faith is. Faith deals with time. Hope deals with eternity, or deals with the future. Now are we the sons of God. Yes, go ahead.
And it doth not yet appear what we shall be.
So there's an aspect of our salvation that is still in the future. And that's the one he's now addressing here, hope. It does not yet appear what we shall be. Yes?
But we know that when He shall appear.
Is when He, Jesus, returns. Yes, what happens to us?
We shall be like him.
We shall be like him. Yes.
For we shall see him as he is.
So, yes.
And every man that had this hope in him purified himself.
So, do you see what he calls that part? Hope. And any believer that has it lives godly. Anybody that is looking forward to the coming of Christ lives a holy life, lives a righteous life. If I look at the way you are living, I can tell whether the cardinal pillar of hope is active in your life or not. A lot of Christians only deal with faith because faith can help them solve the problems of life, cast out devil, get people healed, receive financial breakthrough, deal with most of the problem. And so the church, the modern church, Nigerian church, African churches have focus almost 98% to even 99% of their energy only on faith. Because those are the things you hear every day. Things that have to do with breakthrough. Receive it. Because it's faith that deals with this side of life. The problem with this kind of Christians is that when tragedy strikes, when there is persecution, when there is tribulation, they don't have anything in them to withstand it. They don't have antidote. When people die, they are shattered because their faith can't handle that experience. Christianity prepares you not only for life, it prepares you for death. Actually, it's during trials, during tribulations, that we know whether your faith is strong or not. And it won't be if you don't have hope combined with faith. Let me give you an example. Job was one person who practiced faith in the area of divine protection. He used to apply the blood on his family, on his children, to keep them from being attacked by the enemy. But one day, Satan kind of gained permission, gained access, and he attacked those children, and the children died. What do you do when your children have died? What do you do when you lose a loved one? What do you do when you lose a child? What do you do when you lose a spouse? In dealing with trauma, grief, losses, people go through 5 stages. It's a natural process. First stage is shock and denial. They deny that the person is not dead. They deny that this did not happen. You know, one day Job woke up, fire burnt his house. Very wealthy man. He lost most of his wealth. What do? You go through shock, denial. But then people keep progressing in the stages of grief. They get to the 4th stage, they go into depression and despair. At that stage, they are confused. For example, now, stage 3 is negotiation and interrogation. They are talking with the Lord, to see if He can change back that situation and get them out of it. If the person is dead, they are praying, believing that He will rise. And there are cases where God has raised the dead people back to life. Because faith can move mountains. But what about those cases where the person did not come back? What about those cases where that job has been lost and is gone? What about those situations where fire actually burned that building and it's gone? You know what a lot of people do? They now move to despair and depression. Some of them lose their perception of life. They begin to talk trash. And that was what the devil was hoping, that he will get Job to that point so that he can deny God. He will say, you have disappointed me. You are not faithful. After believing in you, trusting you, look at what you allowed to happen to me. The modern Christians who only build on hope usually don't have antidote or something in them to withstand when the enemy comes. Because all they expect is that God will change the situation. What about when He doesn't change? Do you know what Job did? He went to God's house, bowed down and worshiped. He said, naked came I into this world, naked will I go. The Lord has given, the Lord has taken. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Before I got the children, you were God. After the children are gone, you are still God. You are the one that gave me this wealth. He was the wealthiest man in the whole of Middle East. And I have been in this position for many years. Now that he's gone, why should I curse God? His wife said to him, curse God and die. Because the wife has faith without hope. The man that has hope knows that this situation is not permanent. It will change again tomorrow. The man that has hope sees beyond the end of the tunnel and knows that. You know, the song you guys sang, now, he said, times and seasons change, but you remain the same. The man that has hope knows that even if it doesn't change in time, there is a better tomorrow for me in eternity. There is an aspect of Christianity that goes beyond the grave. And ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you something? It is 90% of it. It's only 10% that we're dealing with here. Oh, I don't want to go somewhere. What we are doing here, we're living in something called time. That's why they gave us the physical body to live here. Time. We came from eternity, place in time, and when we are done here, we are returning back to eternity. And this thing we call time is just like a tiny segment of eternity, and it's deceived a lot of people. Eternity is like forever. If you start a rope here and continue till you get to the end of Africa, that's South Africa, Cape Town, past Antarctica, go around and enter other planets, enter other galaxies, and then the other man take the other rope, enter other galaxies. By the time you get to the end of the universe, you've only gotten to just a small segment of eternity. You are just starting. They came here and carved out a small place. This so-called time is just 7,000 years old. It's 1 week they gave us in time. 1 week. 1 week. They gave us 7 days. At the end of these 7 days, they will reevaluate everything that has happened. That's what's called judgment. And move us back to eternity. We are meant to be like angels. We are meant to be like God. We are immortal beings. But they put us in a mortal state. Certain decision people are making now will put them in suffering forever when they return to eternity. Not having eternal perspective make you misbehave when you are living in time. People that live in time must mind those things that matter the most, and most of them are eternal in nature. All the things you have here are temporal. Your clothes, you buy the latest one, it looks so nice. How many months? You look at it, it has faded. You bring out the latest car. How many years? You look at it. And you know the companies that brought out that one, as you are already buying it, they are already designing the next one. They just wait for enough customers to access this one. They bring out the next one. Actually, some of them, they have designs ready for the next 50 years. And every time they bring the next phone out, they have retired your old one. So if you are the type that must always be current, you are in big trouble. This realm is a mirage. Look at money. Money is important for life here. It's like fuel. What fuel is to a car. That's what financial resource is to human life. It's just a means. It's not the end. But some people have now made money the end. Some have made it their God. They can kill for it. They can do anything for it. They throw away their life to get money. Tell me, 100 years ago, who was the richest man? Do you know? 1,000 years ago, who was the richest man? Do you know? But we're still talking about David. We're still talking about Abraham. We're still talking about Jesus. Every time we talk about Jesus, do you know the kind of mansion he lived in? Do you know the type of diamond or gold wristwatch he was wearing? Is he Abraham? Is he Moses? Those mirage smoke are the things that confuse human beings. The real things that matter, they throw away. Those people that control bills, many of them died miserable. Many of them died of overdose of drugs. Many of them died committing suicide. Yet they had all the money. You think money is what gives you fulfillment? You're a joker. Usually, sometimes when we talk about this, those who have not had it think we are joking. There are people, their marriages were better before they got money. You think that's what makes marriage sweet? Like fuel, it adds value. It can buy you a couple of things. The important things in life, it doesn't buy. The most important things, it doesn't buy. It can buy a house. It can buy love. Can get you the latest toys, all these cars. They are toys. But when I travel, doesn't matter where I'm going, I have a sense of assurance, of safety, because of who I believe in, not because of the type of car I drive. I have wonderful peace in my heart. When you live in the will of God for your life, when you live to do His will, you enter into that zone. There is no wealth like it. Okay, so what is hope? Hope within the realm of the life we're living in covers about 7 or more things, like your dreams, your desires, your expectations, your goals. Anytime you have a goal, you have hope. Your vision, your purpose, your future. Because even time itself has present, past. You have past, present, and future. So there's still future in time. And we have to deal with that by engaging it with hope. A man can live 40 days without food, 3 days without water, and can stay a couple of seconds and minutes without oxygen. But once you take hope away from a man, he expires. His life expires. They can't see a better future. They can't envision things getting better after all this. Then what you see is a downward trend that finally leads to expiration. Some people even commit suicide. I can go through a tunnel as long as I know that there will be light at the end of it. I can go through trials as long as I know that the future will be better than now. I can go through tribulation as long as I know. The Bible said at the end of the sufferings of Job, God gave him double of everything that he had. You need hope when you are going through trials. It's not just faith. Because faith will push you to think that everything must change now. Sometimes it doesn't change immediately. You need hope to go along until your faith brings the breakthrough.